It's time to get on up with Jam and Renee. And here's your hosts, James Arthur M. and Renee Culver.
Jam, forgive me. I'm curious. Can you hear me? You can. I heard the intro song and I heard the clock down, but we can't hear you just yet, which is perfect because that's what we want. Those leprechauns came in last night. They're playing tricks. They're working with all the trickeries. We miss you, Jam. We miss you. Incredible. Okay, all right. Let's see. The charades. The charades. We love it so much. Just one check. Just one check. Just one check real quick. It sounds like one word. Roll. It's a movie. Okay. All right. A man is walking off the show, never to return again. All right, he's going to be right back. Good morning, my sweet Get On Uppers. Happy Friday to you. We are so happy to see you. And would you look at who's here today? We got London. We got Carrie. Now, let's see. Carrie, Miss, I might need you to phonetically say your name. In the chat, Stacy, hello. Good morning. So happy to see you, just so that I can make sure that I'm pronouncing it right. Also, what is this? Is that early morning or is that mascara? Oh, no, that's just old age. Okay. Well, listen, we see things we don't want to see. Here at Get On Up, that is how it's going to happen to you. We've got Zippy Hawk, we got Karen, we got Michelle, we got Warm Bedbug. That is terrifying. Warm Bedbug, have you ever had actual bed bugs? Because I have. And while I love you, I do not love a bed bug. An actual bed bug. No, thank you, please. Vocal Zebra, Anna, Superb Alpaca. These are adorable. Stacy and Patricia. Stacy, my name is, buddy, I'm so sorry. Okay, let's see. We gotcha. He's back. He's back. He's back, and we can hear him.
I was assuming you were not going to be able to hear me. And I got to tell you, y'all missed out. I gave the best intro you could have ever experienced.
Of course you did.
Award winning.
We know you did.
It would have won a Backy. That's what it is.
I didn't win. Well, now listen. Here you are acting like the award nominations are not out. While you were gone, you got nominated for a Backy.
Oh,
for best silent intro.
Well, listen, everybody, I appreciate the nominations, but like my hero Dolly Parton, I can't accept this award. I can't. But thank you. Thank you.
Would you want to do a little do-over? You want to do a little here's what you missed?
Yes, because the first rule of improv is to say yes. Absolutely not, Renee. No, I don't. But okay, welcome to Backchannel, the only place where you can listen to, watch, chat live with the very host you are watching this morning or listening to. I am your breakfast jam for the morning, James Arthur M.
And I am Renee Culver. Get our numbers. We're so happy to have.
I'm glad we did
Me too, right? It feels good. And then Sarah said in the group text, and I was just like, well, I can't see him yet. So I don't know. She's like, you guys are always matching. Oh, wait, look at us. Today's Navy Day. Navy Day on Backchannel.
We do not have a production coordinator. Look at us go. We don't have like a costume designer. We just have synchronicity. So
that's it.
Learn it.
But it's very. Yesterday made sense because it's St. Patrick's Day, so obviously we're in green. But today's just friendship. That's just synchronization in friendship. Synchronization.
There it is. Before we get this show on the road, I do want to. I know you welcomed everybody. I heard all of it, and then I was remiss because I couldn't say hello. So major FOMO. First of all, we got to send positive energy to Stacy because Stacy's not feeling well because the hip is hurting because you got a shot. Oh, that doctor. Was it the doctor? Give me the name and address. I'm gonna let them know. Y'all need to fix it.
See, I will tell you, Jam had plans today, but they are now canceled so that he can tend
on a flight,
to this scolding to let
let me get
them.
the violence solves everything, or at least a little intimidation, right? I feel
Sure.
like that's
I like that.
the
Or
bronze
yeah, like
rule.
just a quick wagging of the finger. Hey,
Let me stretch my
hey,
fingers so they're ready to
you were a
wag.
doctor. What did you do in medical
What
school
did
if
you do to
not to figure
Stacy?
out how to make shots not hurt? Though, you know what I've heard, Stacey, I know this won't apply because shots hurt, but have you seen this very adorable device that they are giving to kids so that they don't feel shots? So it's basically it's like if you were to look like at a coffee coaster and you put that on your arm, but on underneath the coffee coaster is just a bunch of little like spikes is not the right word, but like pegs. So that your arm is feeling like 200 pegs at once, and it is confusing your brain and your nervous system. Do you have it right now? So it's confusing your brain and your nervous system in a way that when the shot goes in, you're just like, well, I'm feeling 200 pokes. I don't. That's not going to hurt. But the other pegs don't hurt. Okay, so it goes around your shoulder.
I'm
I'm telling you,
so
it's really smart. I think
confused.
it's called like
How does a shot go through? I have a
oh,
coaster,
it's got
and
a
a
little hole. It's
shot
got a
is
little
going to
hole in
go
the middle.
through
It's got a little
this,
hole in the
Renee?
middle. It's got a little hole
Okay.
in the middle. I know.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
I
Well,
know.
you heard it.
I'll
You heard
Google
it
it for you.
first.
I'll send
Renee
it to
Simon.
Sarah. Okay.
All right. Well, while Renee's doing that, if
Yes.
you all would like to join in on the
Yeah.
conversation, just like Stacey has, what's ailing you all today? First question for our Get On Uppers:
No.
what is ailing you for today? You can just write into the chat. You can say is the magic word, and whatever comes out of your mouth, we're gonna see it. Whatever words come out of your mouth, we will see it. We will probably say it out loud, depending on what it is that you're. Some of these comments, we're not gonna read them. Lead with kindness. Lead with
Thank you.
kindness and
Yeah.
on topic. Sometimes it's,
Listen, I
you're
feel
talking
like
about
lead with
what's your favorite
kindness.
banana bread, and they're like, Carl Winslow was on Family Matters. Great
Sure.
fact, but that's
Sure.
not what we're talking about.
It's not what we're talking. It's not what we're discussing. The show began with a threat for a doctor who made a shot hurt, and I'm fully prepared to keep on with that trend. That I will say, I blocked somebody yesterday. Somebody said something at me. Get on out, Renee wasn't having it. No, absolutely not. No, I said. I wasn't gonna do it. I was not gonna do it. Yes.
Renee, here's the funny thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you said what was going
Yes.
to ail you, I
Yeah.
accidentally hit
Everything stops.
my
I could tell. Yeah.
no,
Oh,
no,
sure.
I accidentally hit my Siri button, and Siri was like, "What do you want?"
Oh,
And she took center stage, so I heard nothing.
sure.
But man, were you in passion?
Of course.
Sure.
And furthermore. Yeah, exactly.
Mm,
Jim, what is going on? Do you see that right there? Is that that's just old
Whoa,
age? Doesn't that look
whoa.
like
Who hurt
something
you?
happened?
It's a
But nothing
tugboat.
happened. I
Blink
think
twice,
I can't.
Renee.
Doesn't
What
that
is
look like
happening?
mascara has dripped? But
I
it's
did not
not.
do this. I live in San Francisco. I have
Just in
not
case you're
seen her.
looking at it and you're just like, Renee,
Did you have
wash
did
your
you fall?
face. I did. I don't know what happened. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't
Oh,
feel
you
like a
fell.
bruise.
Well, there's the mystery. You
I
fell.
didn't
Oh, I
fall.
thought you said you fell. I said, did you fall? You're
I
like,
didn't.
yeah. Okay.
Oh no,
Get
sorry.
her straight.
I did not.
Okay.
I did not fall. There's no falling. I just it's an
It's not
interesting.
old age. It's just I don't know.
I think it's a little
Mud face. You wake up with mud
I'm
face
gonna
and then things.
turn this
Okay.
down. Is
This is
that
going to bother Renee the entire show. But you know what else, Renee?
Yes.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. Renee has
Mhm.
been so focused on herself that she has not even noticed.
I'm so sorry. You got such a
I
nice haircut. You look
okay,
so
yeah.
handsome.
Now
You
she's
look
coming in with
so
it.
handsome.
So Get On Uppers.
So
I got a
handsome.
haircut.
Yes, you did.
Renee once again
I'm so
did not
sorry.
notice or comment.
I
Please let the record
yeah.
straight. Go to the tapes. The minute
Yeah.
Renee shows up with a haircut, my first thing is like, "Ooh, Renee, did you get a haircut?"
Of course. Of course.
Thank you,
You
Stacy. Thank you, Stacy.
see,
Renee,
Stacy
take
knows,
notes.
and you were deserving of someone to observe it. And I am so sorry. I stand by my initial defense in that in my brain, you are just gorgeous. Like there's just Jam is gorgeous. Jam is an inspiration to the gods. The gods are looking at Jam of just like, how do I get that? What do I do to look like that? So I do think that there is some bias there, but it's gorgeous bias, which in and of itself is a compliment. I'm
Well,
just
Renee,
assuming you're gonna
first.
you're gonna show up hot, and I need to pay more attention. And I'm so sorry. You are so handsome. Your haircut looks so handsome, and I don't know why I don't see it. I don't know why when you show up with a haircut, I don't see it. I'm just like, well, he looks hot again. That's
She won't even let
genuinely
me.
what happens in my head. Well, he's hot again.
Well, Renee, you have saved
Mhm.
yourself from this one once again. Well done. Tens across the board. We will continue this.
Giving
I
myself a
love
building
this
material.
first question. Why is that Jam has colorful microphones and Renee
Right.
doesn't?
Well, exactly. That's a whole thing about our personality right there. I got one mic in 2020 and never
Oh,
looked back.
good. Yeah, there it
It's
is.
time to look back.
I just have little
It's
different
time to doing
microphone
okay.
props that I like to use to coordinate with my outfits. But thank you for noticing. Thank you for
Do you have a
noticing.
bag of pops? Can we see all the colors to choose from? No.
Nope,
Okay.
you'll just see
Okay.
them one at a
That's
time
fair.
when necessary.
I
All right.
completely
Well,
fair.
here's what we're gonna do for today's show. We do have a show plan. It's not just Renee and I. Do 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 do.
No, I think that's what everybody wants on a Friday.
That's what
I
Renee
think.
wants. Everybody's working for the weekend. This is Renee's second favorite day of the week. Can you guess what Renee's first favorite day of the week is? Can you guess?
I'm also playing this game because I don't remember what I said. Did I say Saturday?
It's Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. Saturday is my favorite day.
Say the answer for everybody. We're gonna do a little weekend check-in. Everyone's working for the weekend. What are your weekend plans, y'all? We want to know what you got going on. And then Renee is our celebrity birthday quiz queen for the day, giving us all the celebrity quiz. Blow the horns, roll out the red carpets.
Pew, pew, pew.
Move over Queen Elizabeth,
I was
who's moved out of Buckingham Palace. She's moved out.
Thank
There's a
you.
vacancy.
Thank you so much. I don't think I'd want to be queen. Can I be
Sovereign
event coordinator in the Royal? I think I'd have a lot of fun with that.
Oh, you could even be the court jester if you want. Renee, you are being such a dolly right now. You're being such a Dolly Parton right now. We're giving you the crown. You're like,
Thank you.
I don't think I want to be the.
I don't know if I want to be the queen. I feel like she's in charge of a lot of hard decisions. I'm not capable of that. I can barely figure out what's going on with my eye. Continue.
Clearly, there is a Dolly reference going to be made throughout today's show. If you hadn't heard, Renee reported earlier this week that Dolly Parton, she was nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
Dolly was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. She doesn't want your nomination. She doesn't want to do it. And so that's what Renee doesn't want to be our queen. She's happy to be our event coordinator.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well,
yes, and then what else is happening that first hour, Jam?
Quiz event coordinator Renee Colvert will be doing the celebrity birthday quiz. We have our Women's History Moment today as well. Another unsung hero of the suffragette movement we've not heard about, closing out our week. And then we've got Feel Good News, Feel It Out Friday. We're going to feel out this news, or it might feel good, but it might just be we're feeling out how do we feel about today's news, closing out our week. We got a Fact Friday, an Iron Man edition. Hopefully y'all have been following along. Iron Man 1 and 2 Fact Friday quiz. And then Renee's going to recap the week for us. And then we're going to look at what we're going to forget about for the week. So it's an action-packed show. Probably not going to get to all of it.
Well, you never know. You never know. Well, not with that attitude, we won't. But I believe in us. Honestly, that attitude is based in my just talking and talking for the first 17 minutes of the show. So I bet that you were accounting for, well, if she doesn't button up, then yeah, we're barely going to make it through birthdays. But may I tell you here and now?
Barely make it through. Can you imagine we like get to the end of the show? It's like 8. Oh, Stacey would be so mad. We will not do that, Stacey. This is a joke, a hypothetical, but we're also showing exactly how this could happen. But could you imagine it's like 8:15? We're like, oh my God, we only got to the second birthday.
Right. Oh gosh, hold on just a minute, just a TikTok. We'll get there. Stacey, this sounds good. Okay, so next week you'll be here for Tuesday, Thursday, and on Monday and Wednesday. Okay, great. Okay, that sounds perfect.
Sarah,
we want you here as often as we can get you here. That is our plea. That is our beg. So can I tell you a trend that is happening with our sweet get on uppers that I am loving? The adjective and animal trend that is going on in your name is delightful to me in a way that I cannot handle. And I guess I said animal, but I probably mean insect. So we've got a warm bed bug. We've got a blushing caterpillar. We've got an imperfect fly. great. Yes. I love it. I love it. And to picture all of those personalities upon an insect delights me to no end. I love it. I love it. I like an actual name, but I love a nickname. I feel like maybe we are divided in this assessment of names. I feel like maybe we are not
Oh,
aligned. In
I have no opinion. This is not the hill I will be dying on today.
fair.
But
Only
great. I
fair.
love it.
Okay.
This is great. So
All right.
Renee, what are you doing for the
Yes.
weekend?
Yes, I would love to tell you. Now, I don't know how I feel about this. I might be going to a murder mystery party.
Oh. Get on uppers.
Yeah.
Have any of you been to a murder mystery dinner party or show or experience? Sound off in the
Let us
chat. I
know.
know them warm bed bugs we get into some murder mystery. Them blushing caterpillars can't get enough.
I have and I hate them, so I don't know why I said yes, except for the fact that it's a dear friend and I love them very much for the sole purpose of got a little bit of dyslexia, and you are made to read long monologues on the spot when you're part of a murder mystery. So then I'm just like, and then it was Keith, and they're like, what? I was like, Karen, sorry, I guessed. I saw the K and I guessed, and I'm sorry. So I always accidentally ruin it by not being able to read properly. So that's maybe happening on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I'm gonna hike with the dog. And then do you want to hear does this matter? Is this important? Probably not. I don't think this matters. One of the shows that I work on is a review of a bunch of TV shows and movies. So part of my job is to ask intricate, unique, captivating, hard-hitting questions that no other interview has asked. But to do that, I gotta watch the shows. So I will be watching a lot of assigned television for work.
Oh,
Sunday.
well, that sounds exciting. And you'll also be watching Incredible Hulk for our Marvel movie Monday premiere. It's not on Disney Plus.
Will
You have
be doing
to
that as
rent
well.
it
Yes.
and get on uppers. You as well have homework. It's Marvel movie Monday. Don't forget. And we're doing Incredible Hulk in our timeline
Great.
order. Well,
And
Renee,
where did
that
we
sounds
say
fabulous.
you can find that? You can find it on Prime, or
Amazon
Apple,
Prime,
or
YouTube, Apple, wherever they're renting, you can do it.
and I think it's
So,
important to say which one because there's a bunch.
no,
And
there's
I'm
only
saying this
one
like it's for the
Incredible
Get On
Hulk.
Uppers.
There's only one
Oh,
Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk is the one that we're
with Eric
doing.
Nolan. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because it was Hulk. Hulk is the one I've seen.
Yeah. No, we want an Incredible Hulk, not a Hulk. You'll also know if you're watching the wrong one because it'll be 2004, and there was no. That's not what I want. It's too soon. Too soon. Iron Man didn't come out till 2008. So
got it.
it's after
And
Iron Man.
this one is also 2008, right?
No, well, did it?
Oh.
I think it came out after Iron Man, so it was like 2010. It came out the same year Iron Man 2, I believe. And Stacey will be watching with your mom. Okay, great. Have my mom watching Incredible Hulk for me. Okay, you'll have your mom watch for you. But I think your mom's gonna be busy doing taxes right now, Stacey, so she might not have time to do your homework for you. But
you don't know.
God bless her. She can do it all. How does she do it? Okay.
How about you, my sweet pumpkin? We got it because you were on vacation, but you were also here working. Okay. What does the vacation weekend look like for you?
Well, first, Get On Uppers. I'd be remiss. I would love to know what y'all are also getting into this weekend. So London, Karimus, Michelle, Warm Bedbug, Stacy,
Does
Blushing
not
Caterpillar,
like those, not real
Neat
names.
Gorilla.
I'm gonna unlock the door.
Oh yes, please lock the door. What are you all up to the weekend? For this weekend, what are you looking forward to this weekend? Let us know. Sound off in the chat. Also, well, it was my nephew's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to Theo, who sometimes watches the show and missed the birthday shout out I gave. So happy birthday, Theo.
Okay. Nobody's 4.
Turned
so
4.
That's fine. You're allowed to miss a show when you're 4.
How dare you, Theo? Your uncle's here doing the show of his life. But Theo, we're having a birthday party for Theo at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. So we'll be doing that. I imagine it's gonna be a lot of teacup sort of things,
Of
being
course.
Little kitty ear.
Well, you can scoot away.
He'll be. Oh yeah. He'll be over there. He's 4. He won't remember. Best birthday ever. Getting the little photos so the memories are
Yeah.
there. Buy a little cotton candy
Right.
and then oh my god.
Go ride some coasters. You know I
Yeah.
love theme parks. This is very exciting for me.
Well, this one apparently has like when I was a kid, it used to be just Marine World. It was sort of like a do we ever get out anybody from California? No Marine World. It's sort
What's
of
this
like
one
a
called? Six
this
Flags
is
what?
Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. It used to be Marine World.
Okay.
And it was just animals, and they're like, that's not enough. And so they put roller coasters on top of the animals. So I get concerned if I don't know if the animals are still there really. I don't
This
know. Not
looks
great.
so fun. Oh my goodness, you are gonna have the best time. I'm at the website right now. Yeah, you got it scared away. I see what you mean though, that so there's like a typical roller coaster, they're just like, "No, no, it's a cobra."
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But and then I'm going on a hike today as soon as the show wraps. I'm going to the gym and I gotta go get me some nature because
Yeah.
I gotta keep up with my work wife, Renee
Yeah.
Colvert.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I gotta get moving.
Yeah, at some point I will just walk into the hills and not return. And that
Okay.
is my plan, and I can't wait. Not in a sad way, just in I built a house while I was up here. Now I live here.
Okay. Sounds really sad. This sounds like one day I will just walk right into the ocean and you'll never
Yeah.
see me
And
again.
never see, never to return again. Yeah, absolutely. What a wonderful guy. This sounds like a fantastic weekend. Now, I wonder if now is the time to check in with your scavenger hunt that I assigned you yesterday. If you
Oh.
participated and if you remembered to do it and if it was fun to look for.
So if you all remember, Renee gave me a scavenger hunt. Well, first she said bingo, but then she changed it to scavenger hunt of St. Patrick's Day. And there were 5 things I was challenged to find. Someone crying on the street,
Yep.
a bar or restaurant trying to like phone it in of like, we do corned beef hash. And it's like, but you do
Right.
burritos. A leprechaun.
Yeah.
A green beverage of sorts.
God, you're
And
good.
then
You're
that
so
5th
good.
one, I don't remember.
I
I
also
always
don't
forget
remember the
what
5th
that
one.
one
So
is.
that's
Okay.
you don't have to do it. Get on Uppers if you remember what I said for the 5th one, I'd love to hear it, but I also don't recall.
Here's what happened.
Yeah,
So it
I'm
was
listening.
supposed to go. It was supposed to go with my friend Rob. We were supposed to get dinner and drinks,
Mhm.
and then my friend Rob completely bailed on me at the last minute, and I was like,
Rob!
"Well, I'm gonna go. I'm
Right.
on staycation, so I took myself to dinner. I had some wine. I was reading a book. I
Yes.
love going to a restaurant by myself and reading a book. I
Mm,
love
the
it. You look
very
so
best.
confident and just like you don't need
Mhm.
nobody.
Nope.
Curious get on uppers. Have you ever gone to do you like to go? Have you ever gone to dinner by yourself, like a fancy dinner? Do you like doing it? I do. I love
Yeah,
going to the movies by myself. I love going to dinner by myself. I am
best.
enough.
You are
So
enough. Yeah.
so to that point, what did I see? So the restaurant wasn't really trying to do anything
Okay.
St. Patrick's Day. They're like an Italian restaurant. So they were like, okay, we're gonna stick to what we know. So they didn't. So I tried to see
Good.
it, I couldn't. But
Okay.
I
Okay.
stopped by at a bar and boy was I racking up points. What was playing on the TV screen at the bar? Leprechaun, the horror
Done.
movie, which
Okay,
I
so they've
warned
shoehorned
you
it in.
about, which is
Ye
why I think leprechauns are terrifying. That
Yeah.
was one of my first experiences as a kid with leprechauns. The horror movie Leprechaun with
It
Jennifer
is terrifying.
Aniston. I'm scared even talking about it. Is it
Yeah,
behind
okay.
me?
We do it. Yeah,
Put this with
you're
clowns and leprechauns. If it's got a horror movie about it,
fair.
I probably don't like
But
it.
that's a 2 for 1. So because that's the Leprechaun and that's the shoehorning it in because that bar would normally
Oh
not be
no,
playing
no.
Leprechaun.
There
Oh,
were
oh, you
green
already had it.
remnants of green jello shots because they were passing those around before I got there.
Something, something, something. You did it. You nailed the scavenger hunt in one fell swoop.
There was something
Very
else to it.
impressed.
I was counting. I was like, oh, and I did that. There was another one that I
Yeah.
did there
Did
too.
you see
But
anybody crying
anyways,
on the street? You see somebody crying on the street? You go,
it's also one about to.
good. Yeah, it's important. You have to. It's not St. Patrick's Day without an undeserved tear.
And I'm
'Cause it's
sure
always
just because I
about it's just
didn't
like,
see it
"I
doesn't mean
didn't
it.
like corned beef."
And I'm sure
Crying.
just because I didn't see it didn't mean it didn't happen. I was in bed by 10, so
No, it
the bars
absolutely
were still open for another 4 hours.
I, my you know how, like, your memory is my therapist always works on me, and I say, "You know how you did it?" She's like, "Who?" I was like, "Me." So I have a memory that is directly related to events. If an event happened, then I will remember every detail of it. If it didn't, if it's just a mundane, monotonous thing, I'll have zero recollection of anything. So I moved to New York on St. Patrick's Day. It was 1843. And I was going to rehearsal. I was going to rehearsal at 9 o'clock in the morning and sort of had that in the back of my head, this scavenger hunt. I'm like, tonight's going to be wild. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, someone was already puking and crying on the street. And I was like, I've arrived. This city is wild. Yeah. I think it was from the previous night. I think it was from the previous night that was happening. But oh man,
they were pre-getting it in. And look at this, dear friend Tim chiming in. I frequently dine alone. Then you don't have to worry about how you look when you eat. Yes, smiley face. I agree.
Couldn't agree more.
Get on uppers. If you haven't done it, I really recommend go to dinner by yourself. Go to the movies by yourself. It is great, especially the movies. I don't need to talk to you. In fact, I'll enjoy it more. Highly recommend going on a date by yourself. It's so great. I really love it.
Genuinely love it. My opinion of that has changed. In high school, I thought doing anything by yourself was the saddest thing in the world, and now when I see people with friends, I'm just like, oh, they're insecure. How did you arrive at that?
Oh man, Judge Renee,
okay, listen,
order. Judge Renee is here, dishing out the verdicts. Judge Judy over here. Order. You're insecure. Back. All right, Renee. Funny. Guess what?
Yes.
Happy birthday, celebrities. Happy birthday, celebrities. Happy birthday.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So if your birthday is St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, which means the day after, we would love to celebrate you. Okay. All right. So the very first one that we have is Adam Levine.
Oh.
All right. It's Adam Levine's 43rd birthday. Do you want to hear? Okay. All right. Remember what Adam Levine? Okay. All right. So we all have a bit of a. All right. Adam Levine had this song with Cardi B.
Get on uppers. Yeah, he'd have redoubled into he supports Black Lives Matter. I see. He's changed all of his photos to just a black square. Got it, Adam Levine. And then he did a song with Cardi B. He's like, okay. Remember any Cardi B fans? If this was a Saweetie trivia, I would be like, do I know that song? That's my type. If it was Doja Cat, I'd be all over it. Adam Levine and Cardi B, didn't know they did a song together. I didn't know they did a song together.
I didn't either.
Is it called Let's Take a Wild Swing? I Am Black Lives Matter by Adam Levine.
As it should be. You're right. I don't know. You're right. This is a very controversial birthday that we're celebrating. It is Girls Like You. So, girls like you run around guys like me. No. Is that no recollection, or that's oh god? That was such a good interpretation of that song that I completely know what you're talking about.
Never heard of that song before until now, and I only want to hear the Renee version.
Sure.
Girls like me and the guys like you.
Nice.
Renee, that was enough for me.
That's it.
So now I know the song. Now I know the song. Now I know
all you need. Okay, you ready for the next one? This one's better.
Oh, wait, sidebar. And look at that.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that.
Yes.
Tim said the Adam Levine impression was dead on, and I think he's talking about the both of us. Me doing I'm good at secondhand impressions, if you recall. Like I can do an impression of Kirsten Wiig doing an impression of Liza Minnelli trying to turn off the lamp.
Yes.
Will a bossy neck get it? You gotta find the clicker. Oh, how do I get the doodads with the I was in Atlantic City. I choked on a shrimp. Pow.
And that's comedy right there. If you can do an impression of somebody who did an impression, that's your bread and butter. That's it. Take it to the bank. You're set. That's all you need.
So, story about Adam Levine.
Yeah.
So, his brother, Neil
Okay.
Levine was
Okay.
on my college dorm room hall.
Okay.
And so a few things. So one, I was working on a cruise ship and I came back. First of all, I gave his brother, it was his TA for a class.
Okay.
But it was a class that I was running because I was running a theater
Right.
company. He was in my class. He didn't
Right.
do what he was supposed to do. I gave
Of
him an
course you did.
F. So I gave his
Yeah.
brother Neil Levine an F.
Mhm.
And so I went away on a cruise ship and I came back and I had no idea Adam Levine had like blown up. He had told me about his brother that was doing a show with Val Kilmer and
Right.
fancy, but got back and I saw this magazine and I was like, oh my gosh. I said to my friends, I was like, this guy, Adam Levine, looks a lot like Neil. They're like, yeah,
Right.
that's his brother. So then
Yeah.
we were going out for drinks and I mind you, I'm like 24. We're going out for drinks
Right.
and they're like, oh yeah, Adam Levine is coming. And for whatever reason, I just started drinking a lot and I got so I know, I just think I saw his feet. I got so nervous and
Sure.
I ended
No,
up
I would be too.
getting passed
Yeah. No,
out like
I
bad, bad,
would
bad, bad, bad.
be the exact same. That seems like
Yeah,
a
I
logical
got so
response to such a
nervous.
thing.
I drank myself into a stupor.
Yeah. I would do the exact. Well, God, what would I do? Yeah, no, depending on how young I was, I would also do the exact same thing. I would drink it away,
Yeah.
and
I
now
was
I would leave.
23. I was 23.
Yeah, you can't be
No,
held
I was
accountable for
23.
anything you
My
do at
birthday hadn't
23.
happened. No, I was
No.
24.
Okay.
Your brain doesn't fully develop until you turn 26, so you have
Thank
time.
you. You said something. This was on a podcast that you said so long ago. This was 2020 on
Okay,
homophilia.
got it, Stacey.
Yes.
That is not
Oh,
something I would do.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Fair, you're better than we
Oh,
got it. We know. We
hey.
love you for it, Stacey. You keep us on. If only you had been around, Stacey, maybe I wouldn't. This isn't me shaming you and blaming you. I
No.
take full responsibility for my own adolescence. Wait, what did I say that was brilliant on the
You said
homophilia
something so
podcast?
smart. You said and it had, I think, a little bit to do with astrology, but just like your son doesn't return until you're around 30, and so I don't date anybody before 30 because I want them to
Wow.
be. And I think, but then you also went in, you said this so much more intelligently and articulately because you were a brilliant person and I am not. That there was something to do with their brain isn't fully developed and the sun doesn't come around.
Yes. So my hard and fast rules is
Yeah,
one, your brain doesn't finish forming until you're 26. So like
right.
anything below, like you figure it
Yeah,
out. See you
can't do
later.
it.
Good luck.
Can't vote.
I like to the point where you can realize like, oh, the decisions I made pre 26, then afterwards. And then
Right.
there's our guy. There's our guy.
We got it. We got
Oh my God.
it.
You know who
Yes.
you know why pictures are
Yes.
so important?
But let's
This
hear it.
entire time we were talking about Adam Levine,
Yes.
I was thinking
Yes.
of
Who are you
Adam
thinking of?
Lambert.
No, no, my pumpkin. When you said Val Kilmer,
I
I was
was
just like,
thinking of
what did he do
Adam
with Val
Lambert.
Kilmer? Okay. Makes sense. No, this
So
is
scratch
Adam
everything.
Levine from
That
Maroon
tangent
5.
was.
So wait,
I don't
did
know
you
this
go to
man.
school with Adam Lambert's brother, or did you go to school with Adam
Yes, I
Levine's
went to school
brother?
with Neil Lambert. That makes sense because
Oh
when I
boy.
said Neil
Okay.
Levine, it sounded weird. This way pictures are helpful. I
Sure.
would have never
No, it
shared that
makes
story.
all the sense. So, and that also makes sense because Adam Lambert is like an icon, like One American Idol. But at that point, he was only doing what was that musical he did with Val Kilmer? Ten
Oh yes,
Commandments? Does that seem right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly yes. He was doing that thing with Val Kilmer. Yep. That was
Okay.
it.
That makes
That was
sense.
it.
Makes sense.
Oh,
Makes sense.
my last
Yes.
thing is that
Okay.
until you're 28. It takes till you're 28 for for the Saturn to return back to where it was from when you were born. And you have your
Okay.
return of Saturn, and it literally happens every 28 years. And
Yes.
it's literally the death of your old life and the rebirth of
Mm,
your new. High
mm.
highs, low lows. It is like
Ah,
yes.
great.
So
I'm thrilled to have it. Thrilled to have it. Thrilled to be here. Okay. All right. Well, listen, we really gave Adam Levine his due. Happy 25th birthday, Adam Levine. Coming up next is Jeffrey Owens. Jeffrey Owens is 61. Happy birthday to Jeffrey
whoa.
Owens. Very, very happy to celebrate Jeffrey Owens. Okay, you ready for his question?
Give
Their
it to me.
question. Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. Originated this role on The Cosby Show.
Well, a picture would
Mm.
help. I'm gonna have to Google
Oh, sure.
him. I feel like I can
Okay.
Google because there would have been a picture.
There would, yeah.
Okay.
Picture's coming.
Jeffrey
A picture's
Owens.
coming. I think
Okay.
Just a little bit of slow internet. We're fine.
So Jeffrey Owens, sad story. I have a sad story about Jeffrey Owens as well. Alvin. It was Alvin. He was Sandra's husband, and she's always like, Alvin.
This sounds right. Hold on. I feel there's a different answer in the doc, but hold on, just real quick. Me and the internet are gonna figure it out just real quick. Hold, please.
We are holding.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I just want to confirm from a few sources.
Well, what does your thing say? Just tell us what your thing says, and then we can.
Theo.
Maybe I'm wrong. Theo.
Right, but I think Alvin is. Well, did you say Alvin? Like Alvin, Simon, Theodore? So wait.
Yeah, that's not who he really changed that. If that is
What? No, you're completely right. It's so yeah, we're gonna give it to you because that is the mostly correct. I think it was with an E, an Elvin.
Alvin. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, he did not. No, that's not what Theo looks like. Oh no.
Yes.
No.
Of course. I think it just a little listen, typos happen. Do you want to go to the next one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, it is Queen Latifah's 52nd birthday. Happy birthday to Queen Latifah.
Hey, girl. Hey.
We love it. So Queen Latifah can do it all. We know she can do it all. We've got an actor. We got a singer. We got a talk show host. There's nothing she can't do. She was born Diane Elaine Owens. She should have been born Queen Latifah because that is a better name. Born Diane Elaine Owens. What was her debut album called?
Ooh, that I don't know, but I do remember one of my favorite songs of hers is called UNITY. UNITY, what you wanna be? Who you calling a Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 13?
I love it. Can I give you a little bit of a hint and then you can sort of guess from there?
Sure.
And so it was an indication of her current name.
Queen.
Yeah, perfect. So it was All Hail the Queen was the name of her very first album.
As it should be. I feel like she did not stay in rap and hip hop long. She was like, great, gonna go be an actor. Like she was one of the pioneers. Will Smith talks about her in her book. Yeah, I think she's such a talented artist. I love her as a human. She's beautiful. And I think she's finally out now. She was in the glass closet for the longest time.
Sure, that's it's tricky for so it's 52nd birthday, right? So people in that Gen X genre got to see Ellen get canceled, and they got to see they got to see a lot of consequences. A lot of consequences. So I
There's still actors to this day who are like, you see them in Hollywood. You're like, oh.
No, what are you doing? Which is so funny because to talk to any of my Gen Z friends, the weird thing is to be straight. I'm just like, I don't even know what that means. What does that even mean? So straight. And good for them. Yeah. But yeah, to talk to, I was talking to Chelsea. She's my 23-year-old pal. And she was just like, I don't have any friends that are straight. None. Wow. I know, which I'm proud of them. Good for them. Yeah. All right. Now, this one is Sarah, our producer, has given Renee a little gift, and I appreciate it very much, Sarah. It is Sutton Foster's 47th birthday. Sutton Foster Broadway star. You guys will recognize. What's the Younger? I believe is her TV show that she's on. She was also on Bunheads. But she's a Broadway baby. There is no musical that she has been in that hasn't received critical acclaim and awards. So among the musicals she's been in.
Heaven knows anything goes. Blow, Gabriel, blow. That's the name of the song.
Yeah, that is what it's called. You're right. She started Anything Goes. She started Thoroughly Modern Millie. She also was in Shrek. And here's where your question comes. Who did she play in Shrek, the smash hit musical?
Ooh, the musical Shrek?
The musical Shrek.
Oh, the short-lived isn't it short-lived? It debuted in Seattle and didn't go far from there, right? Did it?
I won a Tony. It did pretty well.
Did it?
It
Oh,
did. Yeah.
my college professor was a costume was like a set designer on that show. Yes, I was gonna go with that as well. Tim and Stacy, Princess Fiona, is
Yes,
what
you
we're gonna
nailed it.
lock in.
You nailed it.
Wow,
So
did she
happy
have to
birthday
turn into an ogre?
Yep, at the end.
Mhm.
As the story foretells.
Spoiler.
I know. The choreography is fantastic, and the final, like, anthem song is called, "Let Your Freak Flag Fly," and it's just, like, it's a
Oh,
really good it's beautiful. It's
yeah.
really good. It's a
Well,
really good message. It's fun.
I hope they do a sequel because I love Shrek 2 is my favorite because I love that Fiona's an ogre the entire time. I love
Yeah,
Ogre Fiona. Give
it's
me
great.
Ogre Fiona.
Give me Ogre Fiona. God don't love ugly. God don't love ugly unless it's Fiona. Unless it's Fiona, who probably isn't ugly.
We're talking about ugly on the inside when we say
Thank
that.
you.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah.
Exactly. So that's it. That does it for our celebrity
Okay.
birthdays for
Well,
today.
thank you, celebrities, for being born and gifting us with your talents. We love ya.
Love it. 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 Happy to have it. Now, Jam, the show ain't over. There's more where that
Oh,
came
I was
from.
literally about to just head on out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, and it would make sense that you did. It would make sense that you did, but I think you have a really, really impressive women's history moment for us that I would love to hear about. Is there a quiz after this one?
There's no quiz. That was
Okay.
just a one-time thing yesterday. Yesterday, not only did we give you the women's history moment, I
Right.
quizzed you afterwards,
Right.
and it seemed like a good idea at the time. Renee, you did good for the second half of it. I
Well,
remember
you know
you.
what's so interesting though, because of the quiz, so we had the Queen Walker. I
Mhm.
think today is how she would want to be known as Madam Queen Walker.
Madam
Madam
Queen
Queen.
Walker, but she
Yeah,
was back then. They just called her Madam C.J.
right.
Walker,
But
billionaire woman.
listen to this. But now, so I don't have anything in front of me. I know that she was the fifth child after the Emancipation Proclamation. I know that she was born in Louisiana. Like all of it sticks when you do it in a quiz. Isn't that wild?
Okay,
I know.
well,
And
there
even when you
will.
get it wrong, it sticks.
All
It's
right.
helpful. Quizzes are
I'm
helpful.
hearing Renee wants more
Yes.
quizzes. More quiz,
Yes, please.
please.
That's how
Please,
you learn
sir.
stuff.
Can I
Yes,
have some
please.
more
Yes,
quiz?
please. Yes, please.
Well, I
But who
don't
do we
have
have
one for you
today?
today, but
Yeah, okay.
we can look
That's
at
fine.
this for next week.
Okay.
All right. So so today we have Zai. Oh, there goes. Okay, yes. So today we have Zaitikala Sa. She is an indigenous suffragette woman here. I think we have some photos that will come up in just a moment. But you can always look her up. She again, her name is Zaitikala Sa. She was born Gertrude Simmons in 1876 in Yankton Indian Reservation in South Dakota. She always likes to point out that she was born the year that the Sioux defeated Custer. And so here she comes, because she was a women's suffragette. She was a suffragette, but she was also not only fighting for the rights and equality of women, which a lot of Indigenous women had in their own tribes and in their culture, a lot of matriarchal societies. But she was also fighting for the rights of her people and Indigenous rights as well. So, as I mentioned, she was part of the Yankton Sioux. She was raised by her mother and her aunts, and after her father, a man of French descent, had abandoned their family, and she was sent to a Quaker boarding school in Indiana at 8. This happened a lot for Indigenous children. Sent for better or worse. Sometimes they were just taken, and essentially these schools would try to indoctrinate, or I don't want to use the word brainwashing, but they would really try to just get all of their sort of Indigenous culture out of them. And so I don't know if you remember hearing recently in Canada, they had found this unmarked grave of like all of these bodies of these children. These children are not treated well in these schools often. Sometimes they died, and they would have to forced to be cut their hair because it wasn't for Western society, they were like, oh, your hair is too long, but this was part of their culture. Anyways, she did later in life write on the terror of her experience here in this indigenous school, being removed from her families. I mean, you can only imagine the sort of trauma of that experience. So she did go on to graduate from another Quaker institution, Earlham College, and she had all these ideas about women's equality, and they were influenced, like I said earlier, by the women in her life, from her culture. In her culture, women had this equality, but then here in modern American culture, didn't have it. And so she was so inspired by her mother and the Dakota women who raised her, as well as by the Quakers. I will say this hat goes off to the Quakers. They were one of the first original folks who were like abolitionists. They were like, let's there's a lot of beauty in the ways that the Quakers even had approach to even their original ideas of like jail or incarceration. Like you would, if you were to be jailed, it'd be time for you to read and grow and rehabilitate. And now they're just like, stay in this closet and go insane for anything, depending on who you are. So again, the Quakers and the women in her life from the Dakota, they had this idea of spiritual equality around of the X's. So she had this in her mind. And after college, she went on to write stories about the Native American indigenous experience. She later went on to join the Society of American Indians, an organization founded by Native people. Zatikala Sa was one of several women in this organization who advocated for women's rights, including Lauren Cornelius Kellogg, who was a poet and citizen of the Wisconsin Oneida Nation, and then also Marie Bottineau Baldwin. So more folks to just go and do some digging on. Again, these are women that you just never hear about. And they were members of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa and one of the first Native women to graduate from law school in the U.S. So Here comes 1917. Well, what's going down? Suffrage movement, ladies doing it for themselves. Yes. So in 1917, she became very active in the suffragette movement when she moved to DC. And she became secretary of the SAI organization. And yes, Stacey is the first Native woman, is what I mean for sure. So yes, so she was like, okay, like we had equality over in my like tribe and my nation and my people. Like, what's going on over here? How come y'all ain't got it? Let me come over here and help y'all out. Here's how you do it. Her earlier writings and her visibility from she had was testifying before Congress on Indian appropriation bills made her known to women's groups. They're like, oh, who's she? Okay, well, we need to get her on over here to speak. So she spoke at the National Women's Party headquarters in June of 1918. She educated her audiences on the lack of rights Indigenous folks had and how they weren't citizens, but wards of the government. Like they were like, oh yeah, tell us about how women are equal over there. And she's like, yes. And y'all know what you've been doing to my people? And they're like, we don't want to hear about that part. Just how about the women equal thing? We want to hear about that. In 1924, advocacy by Native people like her, Zatikala Sa, and members of the Society of American Indians, along with complex political currents such as gratitude for Native veterans and increasing nativism. This is through her work and through all the stuff that everybody else was doing, it's what convinced Congress to pass the Snyder Act, or also known as the Indian Citizenship Act, that endowed full U.S. citizenship rights on all Native people born in the country. So yay, yay, yay. Victory, victory, victory. However, I mean, you knew it was coming. I mean, you checked the calendar. You're like, 1924? Wait a minute.
Wait, hold on. Just a second.
I don't smell equality coming quite soon. But the law upheld U.S. government had oversight of native lands. So a lot of First Nations, like they're sovereign nations within the U.S., but the U.S. still has like some control over them in some respects. it's some sovereignty, but not fully. It's really wild if you watch any documentaries about just reservations and their treatment and their somewhat dual citizenship, and really just the atrocities that happen. Americans will go on to the reservations and just act a fool.
Mm-hmm.
So the 19th Amendment, remember that one? However, we were like, "Ooh, yay, we got it! Ladies get to vote." Not all ladies, right?
Not all.
Ladies, not all. So the 19th Amendment, yay, did not apply to Native women. Boo. As at least 1/3 of Native adults lacked U.S. citizenship and were instead considered wards of the government. They're like, so again, the double-edged sword of that law being passed. And so in the face of this, Zitikala Sa continued her fight for citizenship and suffrage. Like a lot of like the women, some of the white ladies were like, "We did it, we're done." She's like, "Wait a minute, there's still more work to do. Y'all going home?" Like, At the National Women's Party conference a few months after the 19th Amendment was ratified, she hoped that Native people would be enfranchised. She had said, she was thinking through the help of the women of America. She was like, great, let's keep doing this. Let's keep on doing the work so we all have these rights. So she urged them to support an Indian citizenship bill. She was determined to keep a narrow focus on sex equality. However, the National Women's Party chose to focus on the Equal Rights Amendment instead. And so Zatikala Sa found more success in appealing to the almost 3 million members of the General Foundation of Women's Clubs, which Zatikala Sa was urging that they would create a Department of Indian Welfare that year. She's like, we need a specific group that's going to really be focusing on this within the government.
Right.
So they also hired her as a speaker and an investigator. And for 3 years, she traveled the country addressing women's clubs and calling on white women to use their newly won votes to enfranchise Native people. And she had called their attention to the corruption that was going on with a lot of the policies involving Indigenous people, especially in Oklahoma, where essentially Oklahoma, throughout the history of Oklahoma is really fascinating. So it's where the Trail of Tears landed them.
Mm-hmm.
And so she, again, like I said, she had convinced Congress to pass the Snyder Act, and she continued to work to get other Indigenous folks to vote. But many states with large Indigenous populations had voter suppression laws to take place. So it really, like, they had poll taxes, reading tests, citizen tests. So it made it hard for them to be able to be involved in the political system. And then in 1926, she and her husband formed the National Council of American Indians to coordinate the political actions of Native people across the nation. However, many non-natives, especially states that had significant populations of Indigenous people like Arizona, Montana, and New Mexico, used a variety of strategies to disenfranchise Native people. They were trying everything. They were doing this. They were doing that, blocking people left and right. It is a tale as old as time. Everything old is new again. Look at this. Almost 100 years later, the same conversations and the same things are happening. So she did her work until her death in 1938. And so, I mean, I love history so much because you can start seeing these patterns, and the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Mm-hmm.
We are insane right now in the United States of America because we're doing the same song and dance numbers over and over again. I don't like this choreography. I don't like this track. You're maybe remixing the track, putting a new beat to it, but it's the same song. And I'm done. I want a new album.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's so important for us to learn our history because it's intentional that you've not heard about these people. It's intentional that you don't hear about these things. And that way, when they pop up, it can be like, oh, I remember that's like that one thing. Well, we don't want to do that because we know. And then we also understand why certain groups are disenfranchised continuously. Why, why there's still more work and stuff to do. That's why equity is so important, because equity is counting for. There's a great image. Remind me next week. I'll show you.
Okay.
If you're like, well, what's the difference between equality and equity? There is an image that pointed it out that can do it better than me explaining. But there it is. And look at this from Stacy. It's ridiculous that we're trying. She's like, Stacy's like, we're tired. It's ridiculous that we're still having to go through this and do this. We're tired. Yeah, I agree.
Couldn't agree more. That was an excellent report. That was, I mean, every single day this month has been like, the 4 or 5 I've heard of. That in and of itself is alarming. And then even the ones that I've heard of, I'm like, well, God, I didn't know they did that. Wow. So this is very, very, very informative in a good on the surface way, and in oh no on the way. But thank you for covering these. I learned a lot. I'm sorry that we keep repeating history over and over again.
Where's her movie? Like, everyone that we have read between this month and last month, it's like, oh my gosh, let's get some, movies. I don't need to see another movie about, like, I don't know. It's just like there's like the same war. I don't need to see another movie about the Vietnam. No. Did we save Private Ryan? Did we get him? Okay,
we got him. Great. We got him. Okay. All right. Let's give a little scoot along. But no, that was really good. That was a really good report, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I learned a lot, and thank you.
Renee, can you switch us on over to Feel It Out Friday news or Feel Good? I can't promise my news. Well,
you never know. You never know. Well, we'll see. Let me look at mine. What do I have? Hold on, get on, I'll let you know. I think I've got all Feel Goods. So it'll be Feel Good or Feel It Out. First off, welcome to the second hour of the show. We're so happy to have you. London, Karamus, Michelle, Stacy. Pushy links. That's funny. Prentice and Ken. You guys. So happy to have you here. And Tim, if you're still here, but you're not in the chat, we will be going over things that are going on in the news that are making you feel good, or we're not sure how I feel about that. So we're going to feel this out. The first one, I think we can all agree, is going to make you feel great. So we've been talking about this. This has been sort of a thing that has been coming up quite a bit, is Star Trek. You love it. You know it. You're happy to see it. We've got many Star Trek fans here. A very cool thing is happening. Stacey Abrams, who you guys know, who you love, is incredible. We eventually, down in history down the road, to be like, oh, remember when Stacey Abrams fixed everything, when she changed it all? So she is currently running for Georgia's first Black female governor. That's what's happening in real life. But through the course of all of her work that she's been doing, occasionally interviewers will be like, and what are you watching? What TV show do you like? Because why? But she obliged. She's like, I love Star Trek. I love it. So guess who's going to be on Star Trek? The showrunner of the show heard it. So Stacey Abrams is doing a cameo of the 32nd centuries when the cameo takes place, and she is playing the role of the highest officer of the United Earth. So she's president in Star Trek, which is very cool. I know. So hopefully this is a premonition, a foretelling of what's to come. You heard it here first from Star Trek. The showrunner of the show said that when they were filming it, like, it gave her goosebumps of just like, yes, put this lady in charge, let her run everything. So it's on the one hand fun because she likes Star Trek, but on the other hand, doesn't that look good? Look at that photo, Jam. Doesn't that photo look good?
Wait, is this, you said Star? So is this on Star Trek Discovery?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't.
Okay, I gotta get caught up. Because I think I finished up to season 3. Is this on the latest season of Star Trek Discovery? I gotta get on it.
You gotta get caught up. Or it would be okay if you just watched this one, but you should watch it.
No. Okay, you could, but I can't. I mean, I've done 3 seasons, so I might as well.
Okay, so you're familiar with it. Then you got to get caught up and wait for this Stacey Abrams cameo, in which she's playing the president of the United. Hold on, what do they call it? Do you know what they call it in Star Trek world? Of the United Earth.
The United Earth. Oh, that's beautiful. I am a huge Star Trek is so great. Stacy knows. Stacy already knows.
Yeah.
Do we have any other Trekkies out there? If y'all familiar with it, what again is so great about Star Trek 2, it's all canon. Like all of the series all connect with each other. They're all in the same universe, which is pretty amazing. It's like 60 years of storytelling, and they all like, it's such a revolutionary show because it was always about, I mean, back in the 60s, the general in the high command, yes. In the 60s, like again, like it was so groundbreaking because you had there was a Russian, there was a black woman, there was an Asian American guy, like there was everyone there, and it was everyone was just getting along and working together. And that was like revolutionary. So much, in fact, that Nichelle Nichols, who plays Uhura, she was going to quit after the first season. And did I tell you all about this before? She was going to quit after the first season.
Yes.
Martin Luther King Jr. is such a fan of Star Trek. He called her up and he was like, girl, you got to keep doing this show. First of all, I love you on it. Second of all, it's making a huge impact and of you being on here. And still to this day, even Star Trek Discovery has like a trans character on there. They just several gay characters on there, like several.
Great. Wonderful. Good.
Anthony Rapp from Rent, he's on there. Wilson Cruz from My So-Called Life. Tig Notaro is on there.
It's all the people really you want and need. I love it. And the showrunner is female, which is great. That so rarely happens.
And the kind of lead, the lead in this new Star Trek Discovery is also a black woman. She doesn't start off as the captain, but it's the first 3 seasons are her journey, so you go with her to earning it. So
that's so exciting. Okay.
Michelle Yeoh is also on it, like she's fabulous. She plays a kind of an antagonist. She's the bad girl of the universe.
I love it. Well, that's but let's all watch Stacey Abrams as the president of the United Earth of Earth.
Back to your point. You're like, yes, and the point is Stacey Abrams.
Well, no, but yes, I was simply buttoning it. That is my story, that Stacey Abrams is going to be on the show that she loves, but it is also going to be put in a light with which we all want to see her. Is the one in charge of everything.
Well, I love it. Please put her in charge of the universe. Tim's only watched the original series. Oh, you mean like the original old school with William Shatner, Tim? Ooh, that's nice. And the J.J. Abrams movies. Yes, the J.J. Abrams movies.
Those J.J. Abrams movies are great. They're so fun.
I love them. Okay. The 4th one has been held up in limbo for so long. They were going to do the 4th one. And then here's what happened. There's the Chris's are too expensive. So I don't know if you remember, in the very, very first one, Chris Hemsworth plays Chris Pine's dad. And this is before Chris Hemsworth was Thor. He's in the very first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the movie, gets killed. And they're like, okay, I'm never gonna see that guy again. And then he's Thor. And they're like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be fun if we do some sort of time traveling thing and bring both of the Chris's there, and it's his dad and it's him. And then they're like, but he's Chris Hemsworth and he's Chris Pine. Expensive. The 3rd movie didn't make that much money. Then they were like, well, we're not going to get, we can't afford any of the Chris's. So they were going to do Star Trek without Captain Kirk, Chris Pine. And then it was just held in limbo. And now we're back with at least Chris Pine. Captain Kirk.
Okay. I mean,
Tim remembers crying when you watched The Wrath of Khan. The J.J. Abrams one or the original version? I'm just curious. I've never seen the original Wrath of Khan. I've never seen it. Wait, there's only one Wrath of Khan. I'm being a fool. I'm sorry.
I don't know that you are.
I'm more Star Wars than Star Trek, but I tried to keep up. I read Wikipedia. I'm going to switch the subject before my nerd card gets taken away.
Doing it right. I'm going to tend to this dog real quick. I'm sorry. It's a little chaotic this morning. I'll be right back when you hear the story.
All right. So there is the original one. All right, Tim, adding it to my list. Tim's always right. Okay. So there is a new series. We're going to go to Cheaper by the Dozen, Sarah. I think I put that photo up there. Cheaper by the Dozen. Gabrielle Union and Zach Braff are doing a remake of Cheaper by the Dozen. So I think this is the 3rd remake of Cheaper by the Dozen. There was one with, oh my gosh, what is his name? Oh my gosh, don't get mad at me. Oh man, the brain's not working. Who was in the original Cheaper by the Dozen? You all have seen it. Who played the dad? Steve Martin. Steve Martin and the Bonnie Hunt, I want to say. Sometimes it is. Hi, Ken. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Sometimes it alarms me the trivia knowledge that I remember about who is in what films and movies. Was it in the 90s remake of Cheaper by the Dozen? It was Steve Martin, and who was the mom? Was it Bonnie
Yeah, no,
Hunt?
you're right. It's Bonnie Hunt and like Hilary Duff was in it. Does that
Oh
sound right?
yeah, and the guy from Smallville. I mean, it
Sure.
was all kinds of
All the
people.
things. All the things.
Anyways,
This
have
looks
we talked
fun.
about this before on the show that they're doing a Cheaper
Mm-mm.
by the Dozen remake with a blended family? I am over the moon about this.
Right.
And Gabrielle Union recently, so Gabrielle Union, who does not age, you can see her there in the center.
Yeah.
So her and Zach Braff are the two parents. And she talks about how um she advocating for diversity in front of the camera and behind. And she's been in the industry forever. I mean,
Mhm.
like she just has been here forever, and she has not aged at all. And she, at this point in her career, she's got like nothing to prove or anything like that. But and if you're not familiar with Cheaper by the Dozen, what is it? It's the story of this blended family. There's 12 of them. So like she has 6 kids, he has 6 kids. They all come together. And Gabrielle Union was talking about, there's so much that was happening on set that her and Zach Braff had to. I mean, they really became parents on the set
Sure,
of this, and they had
yeah,
to
to
keep
wrangle
things
everyone. Yeah.
fun, but like moving. And they always
Right.
say, like, directors will tell you, never direct a movie with kids and or
Nope.
pets, or definitely combined. It's one of the hardest challenges you will have to do as a director. And they got both of those things in here, kids and pets.
Love it.
And she said, Gabrielle Union was saying, there were some days that were very fun. There were some days that, she's like, I'm glad it looks like that way in the movie because it was a little chaotic on set. She said that we tried to balance. She was like, I was bad cop, Zach was good cop, but we really tried to make sure everyone was like, focused. It was a good time. There was a lot of moving
Right.
parts, kids and animals, definitely a challenge. And they were filming during, like, it was COVID. They were filming
Right.
COVID. And Tim, you're so right. This is the Brady Bunch on steroids. This is literally the Brady Bunch times 2. Like it is, they're like, I see you, Brady Bunch, and I'll
Yeah.
double it.
Yeah.
6 kids is not
Ay-yi-yi.
enough.
Right?
Not cheaper by the half a dozen. Oh,
Mm-mm.
I already know the sequel could be cheaper by a baker's dozen.
Come
Ah!
on, you're having a good time. That's such a good idea. That's hilarious.
Cheaper Dickerson.
Absolutely. Yes.
So she also talks about how that this was with doing this, she said it was kind of like doing 90 Day Fiance because her and Zach were not able to meet in person until they were on set. There was a lot of Zoom
Right.
calls and things like
Sure.
that. She said, like, yeah, due to COVID, all the meetings were happening during Zoom. And she's like, it's really hard to tell how you're going to interact with somebody, but it just all really fell into place.
Oh, I'm so happy.
And she also
Okay.
comments how past versions of Cheaper by the Dozen not been very diverse. And she's like, but this is what a lot of families are. There's a lot of authentic blended families, and we never really get to see those on screen. So she wanted to make sure that happened. And
Right.
then she wanted to point out that they come from all different, families. Like they're all different sizes and shapes and configurations, and there's chosen families, extended families under one roof. Like she really wanted to make sure that this series or a film was going to depict that and showcasing there's all different kind of ways. Last thing I want to point out about this story and getting you all hyped up for Cheaper by the Dozen. You didn't know how hyped you were, but now you are hyped. She says, it was also incredibly important that it was not only diverse in front of the camera, but also behind. And she's like, and this is Gabrielle Union's at this point where she's like, if you want me to be part of your production, I have certain standards and I refuse to go backwards at this point. And so she said that
Yes.
they're amazing partners and everyone is trying to push us forward and really celebrate this. And so, yeah, you can. Oh, and then she also talked about this because this is on Disney, right?
Mhm.
And the recent Don't Say Gay bill got passed. So, Gabrielle Union was saying, she was on the red carpet for the premiere of Cheaper by the Dozen, and she's, stepmother to a transgender daughter, Zaya Wade. And she didn't specifically mention Disney on the red carpet, but she made it very clear that she thinks, of companies who publicly talk about inclusion and then privately support hatred and oppression.
Right. Yeah. I love this. I love that we're calling it out. I love that we're saying it. I love that efforts are being made to change it in some facets. I love it. How are you feeling about it? Are you excited?
Oh, I love it. I'm sorry. I was just getting
Okay.
a sip of coffee.
A quick sip, just a quick sip. Yeah, and initially I thought you were telling me that this was a TV show, and I was like, they're doing what? But it's just a movie. So they
Just
muscled
a
through the
movie.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Baker's Dozen is brilliant, and you should
Yeah, I
send
hope
it
it
in. You should
happens.
wait it. Yeah.
I hope it
Exactly.
happens.
They open a
Well,
bake
well,
shop
thank you.
and then find out,
Well,
we got one more.
interesting.
No, I got a
Yeah,
Baker's Dozen. Hilarious.
I
It's
love
real
it. So
fun.
there's that is. There that
It's
is.
really, really fun. Okay, this show, this story is heartbreaking, but in a really like, oh boy, this is good for you. Wait, I think grief is it will show you who you really are. And I think some people wow out in a way that they don't return from, and some people do this. So there is an NBA star who was a free agent last year. His name is Bismack Biyombo, and he took so he's an NBA, like a basketball star, took an entire year off because his dad got sick. So he went to go take care of his dad, and his dad died. And the interview will shatter you to listen to him talk about it. Just like, my dad was my everything. He was my best friend. He was my business partner. He was my cheerleader. He was my everything. But he took the entire, so that in and of itself, of like putting family first, like maybe that's isn't that crazy, but I think when you have that kind of like NBA style, like, will they accept me to come back? And I'm making so much money, and it's fun, and I love doing it. I think a lot of people choose to like career first, but he took the full year off to go take care of his dad. His dad died, and now he is sort of faced with: do I take another year off to sort of grieve his loss, or do I play? But what's the point of playing when my dad's not around? And then he sort of like sat with it. And he's like, but what if I play for my dad? What if I donate my entire salary to build a hospital that would help with what he died from? So that is what's happening. So this amazing basketball guy is playing this year for the Phoenix Suns, but is donating his entire salary, the entire thing, to go build a hospital in honor of his dad. I think that is very sweet. I think that is very fun. And I also appreciate that his agent did not talk him out of that. The agent is also on board with such a thing. So that's you feel good, but you also feel sad. Feel something Friday is this story. Yeah.
Well, we love that. Well,
Yep.
I think that this is a good one, and then what was she doing one. I have to do today because it connects to St. Patrick's Day. But the first thing I wanted to do is talk about the ongoing Kanye West and Kim Kardashian sort of thing that's happening. So Kanye West, social media might be feeling good for a moment, because he's been suspended. Well, he was earlier this week. He was suspended from Instagram for 24 hours. So the guy, I know we talk about this, like mental health, but he's making he's essentially Kim and Kanye. Are you all following this Get on Uppers? The Kim and Kanye and Pete Davidson thing?
Bad. It all sounds bad and exploitive, and we should be sending everybody to get some mental health help.
So yeah, but I at this point, okay, Trevor Noah did a really great deep dive onto this and why it's a little bit more important than we actually think it is, because actually going to scary, dangerous territory. So Kim and Kanye broke up, or they divorced, right? And so Kim has moved on, Kanye had moved on, but now Kanye's girlfriend, they broke up. Kanye wants Kim back, but she's with somebody else. And she's not interested. And he's being relentless. And so really just not taking the no of it. And he made a music video. I haven't seen it, but apparently it's claymation, and he decapitates Pete Davidson. And Pete Davidson, who also has suffered with mental health, has reached out and been like, hey, I'm here. We can talk about this as men. And fan culture, people are wilding out and sending Pete Davidson death threats and things like that. Trevor Noah just brought a really great point of, because he came from an abusive household, and he's like,
Mhm.
this has remnants of this can go to a very scary place. And so,
Mhm.
like women who survive like domestic abuse sort of situations, like there's a lot of like parallels where it's like where the ex will not leave them alone. And so
Mhm.
just sort of highlighting of that, it might seem like it's just a silly sort of story, but like it
Yeah.
has parallels to women who are also not really who are not famous, who are experiencing similar situations like this. So my
Right.
big call out is, men, stop. Just stop it. You stop
Yeah.
it, men. You stop it, and you be better. When someone's like, no, I'm not interested, stop. I really, really, really want men to just do better. I feel like Women's History Month is a moment for like, who should really be digging in deep. Like women, dabble, do what you want to do. If you want to watch Our Flag Means Death, great, it's your month, you do that. But men should really be taking this month
Damn, that shade.
to
Oh. Okay. All right.
wait, that wasn't shade to you. That was me giving a plus to you of like, this is your month to
Shade.
do whatever it is that you want.
Gotcha. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
you
yeah,
totally
yeah.
misread my moment, Renee. You totally
Gotcha.
misread it. You
Okay,
totally
gotcha.
misread the moment. Because my
Okay.
whole entire thing is, in the same way, the equivalence is that for Black History Month, it's my month. I can do whatever
Right.
the heck I want. If
Right.
I want to watch, Housewives, I get to do that. But the same way that I always challenge people who are not Black during Black History Month, dig in deep. This is your month to recommit to being actively anti-racist. And so that was my whole entire point. And I've said that to you before, that like for Women's History Month, it's your month. You can do whatever it is that you want. There was no shade at all. So please,
Right.
like, unpack
Well,
that. Like, that's not where I was going at all. My whole
and I
entire point is saying that men need to do better. They need to do the work to being feminist, to being to bettering what does it mean to be a man. And we put so much emphasis on like, oh, women, like, don't dress a certain way or walk down this street. If men just do better, then that goes away. The root of it, it's not women don't need to do anything different. Men just need to do better. That was my point.
right, right. No, and I think you can check the tape. When we reported that he delivered a truck full of roses, I was spinning and screaming and running around. I'm like, she is not your
Hmm.
property. She is not your
Yeah.
property. You don't get to do any of this. If she said
Yeah.
no, she means no. So we've been saying that for over a month. So
You
Trevor
did
Noah, I'm
you
glad you caught up to us. I'm glad you caught up to us, but we were the first to say this isn't right.
And to that point, you saw the signs first, because I was like, oh, isn't this kind of funny or silly? You're like, no, this is creepy. And I was like, oh, right. So again, like, thank
Sure.
you because you've been there, Renee. Like, you as a woman have
Of course.
experienced
Yeah.
creepy men. And so again, men, this is your month to like,
You gotta
you've
hear
got
no.
12 more days and do better. I guess I just see it because, like, again, I help to
Yeah.
support the women's group at my company. And there's not, we're doing these different programmings and there's events. A lot of women are attending, not a lot of men are. And I don't know where they think it's just like, oh, that's not my month. I don't have to. Like, this
Yeah.
is your month to like do it up. Again, we're about to have AAPI Heritage Month. If you are part of the AAPI, you can do whatever the heck you want during that month. It's those of us
Right.
who are not, we're going to dive in deep to your culture. And y'all can,
Right.
like, have a parade. You can sip lemonade, do whatever it is you want. Same thing with Pride. Like, dive in
Gotta
deep.
watch
It's your
it.
opportunity. Yeah.
You gotta watch it. I'm gonna be very, very vague in the premise of the show that is new on HBO Max. It's called Minx, and it's about a woman in the 1970s who wants to start
Yeah.
a
Keep it vague.
magazine. I will. Who wants to start a magazine about like feminism and rising up, and she wants to call it the matriarchy. And so a guy who has a little bit more of like a fluffy magazine publishing department is promoting like, hey, you know what I think you should do? I think you should put hot guys as like that's the premise of your magazine, and then you interject these articles about feminism. And again, this is a fictional show, but I think he makes a good point. His line in the show is trying to give a dog medicine, you have to wrap it in peanut butter for people to be able to partake it. If you just scream at people, no one will listen. They will immediately get on their defenses. And should you have to? No, absolutely. But that's how humans work. So if you want people to learn, you got to wrap it in peanut butter. And that sucks, but it is effective. It's an effective way. So I agree that men should do better, but I don't know what the peanut butter is that we need to wrap this in to get them to do better. But we do need to wrap it in peanut butter, because otherwise they won't show up.
Maybe we put it like in Maxim magazine or something, and like how to be a feminist. It's in Playboy. Like, is that what we do? Like,
yeah,
gosh,
I know.
Well, I'm allergic to peanut butter, so that won't work for me.
So not for you. Well, and you also don't need to. You were born knowing it all. So I think
I just
you are not the one that we need to be coming for.
I don't understand how men say, especially straight men, they say they love women, but their behavior says otherwise. I'm actually attracted to men, but I feel like I show how much I love women on the daily.
Yep, it's so true.
Tim brings up, I want to do 3 things. Well, 4 things. Welcome, Emma. Welcome to, I'm sorry, Tukwila, Owen, and then Tim has a point. I think science fiction does that a lot by wrapping social issues in sci-fi themes. Tim, you are so right. That's why science fiction is so great, because it can take you, it's sort of like can distance yourself from it. It's very Brechtian, as we say in theater, where you distance yourself from the story you're trying to tell, and then you can put, and you can also show like how things could be and should be. Like Star Trek does such a great job of that. But also you can show like different groups of people not getting along well. So you have like the Klingons, and you're like, oh wow, but we should treat them as humans. But I mean, I think Klingons are really just a metaphor for Black people, but we were able to explore that through science fiction, not be so didactic into, look at me using my college words, but being so on what our current days and times are. I'm sorry to get so hyphy on a Friday, y'all.
No, but I appreciate that. You're doing it in a really like advocate-y way, and it's very
and then nice. I yelled at you on Women's History Month about women's issues.
But I think because I put you on the defense, that exactly, because I came at it directly, and I should have wrapped it in peanut butter and said, hey, you make a fight. Like you gotta wrap it for people to handle it, because otherwise then they'll get put on the defense, and then you just got everybody's defenses up and can't get anything across. Do you want to hear how VR is for the win? Defense. God, don't.
Renee, were you a cheerleader?
I was a palm dancer. So I
palm with an M. Palm.
Not a pom, not Franz. So that we've been seeing VR helping in so many, so virtual reality. So you're wearing the goggles. We have been seeing this help in mental health over and over and over again. Previously, before this article came out, like years ago, we were finding that our poor veterans who had PTSD, if we could get the footage of the sort of war zone which they were at, and I'll talk about what's going on with the senior in just a second. So going back to our vets, if we could get the footage of the war zone with which we were at, and we could use VR to recreate the scene with which they were having PTSD from, we could work through the trauma of the PTSD and reassociate memories in a way that was actually really healing. And the data on it was just like, oh my gosh, this is so helpful. So now they are finding that VR is also incredibly helpful to people either on the brink of Alzheimer's or in a full-blown thing. Because essentially what's happening with Alzheimer's is that you're losing your memories. So if you can show the memories, then that will keep them at bay and you will remember them over and over again. So you can do photos, but there's just something with VR that creates that tactile, like I am actually here, that creates the cognitive efforts to maintain. And they are saying that it is not only stopping people from developing Alzheimer's, but people with Alzheimer's are starting to progress in a way that it is not as severe as it used to be. So VR, say what you will, is really, really, really helpful in cognitive efforts to heal people, which is great.
So Renee's like, sign me up. Because you have said so many times in the show that you're concerned that you're losing your memory.
Oh, yeah. This could be it. This could because what's I'm gonna go dark, but then I'm gonna make it real fun. Both of my nanas, I watched not recognize anything for the last 5 years of life, so I know what's coming for me. I know that's exactly how I go because both of them, I don't have a prayer. So there is some surrender to like, yep, that'll happen to me too, which is sad. But they also didn't seem to know that it was happening. I think it's only sad for the people around you. But yes, I will have to get into this VR program so that I can stave it off for as long as possible. But it's coming for me.
Well, hopefully not for a long time, Renee, because I know I'll be there every step of the way, but I'll be
Well,
crying.
thank you. To watch my just slowly diminish.
Do we have time to talk about really quick Nancy Pelosi
Yes.
yesterday during
Yes.
St. Patrick's Day?
I'd
Can
love
we
nothing more.
have
What
a
did
little
Pelosi
fun
do?
at the Speaker of the
What
House?
did Pelosi do?
So I haven't watched this full video, so it's homework for all of us. So I'm so sorry to report on something that I have not fully watched myself. It's a 12-minute video, which it's not that long, but there's something about you just got to be in the right space. Like you look at that YouTube and you're like, oh, 12 minutes. Oh God. It's like when your friend sends you something and it's just like 3 minutes, but you're just like, oh yeah, to have 3 minutes and send you this. Yes, curious kind of uppers. How do you feel about when your friend sends you videos? Is there a certain length that it has to be that you're like, you will definitely watch it if it's longer? It's so weird because it's like I send things to people all the time and I'm like, they should absolutely watch it. When someone sends me something, I'm like, I don't have time. What is this?
What am I gonna do?
Will I enjoy this? Will this be funny? Will I like it? So I'm curious everyone else's thoughts. But yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. And I guess the Speaker of the House announced that she would read a poem from
oh boy. Okay.
From the noted from Bono.
Okay.
Yeah, so Bono, so she's like, but it's not funny because it's connected to Ukraine, but it's just kind of like, it's just so interesting that this is what Nancy Pelosi did. I love her.
Right.
She's my congresswoman here in San Francisco. She said, I got this message this morning from Bono. And for most of us, whether we're in Ireland or here or whatever it is, Bono has been a very Irish part of our lives.
Huh. Okay.
I love her. Public speaking is not there's a reason why she never ran for president. He said this. She begins the poem, "Oh, St. Patrick, he drove out the snakes with his prayers, but that's not all it takes." And so the rhyming continues. She mentions like smoke and on our hearts and some evil and saints. And she's like trying to like drive, and it's like it's like, so Ireland's sorrow and pain is now the Ukraine. She continued, and St. Patrick's name now Zelensky. So she's drawing these parallels to like St. Patrick's Day and how it's similar to the history of St. Patrick's Day, similar to like what's going on with Ukraine. And then at the end, she finishes. She's like, how about that? And then she turns to the priest and she goes, what, you like that?
Oh boy.
I have to watch this video because I don't know if I'm saying this right. But she turns to the priest and she goes, I'm so sorry. I'm trying.
That's really funny.
Okay. She turns to the priest and she goes, what, you like that, Father? And then and then she like moves out of the way and she's like, now for Riverdance. And there's a performance. There is a performance. There's a performance, and I think it's a lip sync to a solo tap dance, like Irish jig. And and the funny thing is, Nancy Pelosi wasn't wearing green. So the St. Patrick's Day.
Over the moon about this. This is utterly delightful. Will you send me the video? I will watch this whole video. This is great. This is fantastic.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, you like that, Father?
I'm in stitches. I'm like, this whole thing is just hilarious. I just love Nancy so much because She's always doing her best, but it's just always like she always like perpetually. This is like the metaphor is like she always has like lipstick on her teeth. She doesn't,
Right.
but it's just sort of like you're almost there, Nancy. You're almost there.
God bless. Yeah. I love it so much. Please, sincerely, you can do it right now. Get your phone, send this video to me. I would like to watch it. Please, please, please. And Stacey does make a good point. It doesn't matter whether you're wearing green or not. It doesn't matter. You know what's so funny is that I was wearing that green plaid shirt all day yesterday.
That we loved.
One person in Los Angeles was wearing green, not one. So I felt like the over participatory soccer mom. I was like, are we not? Not one.
Renee, I love you. It's classic. It's very on brand for you, Renee.
Defiantly. Almost defiantly
like, we're over it. We don't do that anymore.
Do that. And even if we did do that, even if we do celebrate St. Patrick's Day, we certainly do not dress to show it. And here I am.
My
leprechaun
gosh. Oh well, Renee, I thought you looked fabulous in LA. You need to do it. Nope. Do it better.
Not cool enough for LA.
Do it better.
I know it.
Okay, well, it is time for Jam You Lying, Jam You Lying, Jam Are You Lying or Telling the Truth? Boop, boop.
Everybody's favorite segment. I'm so excited. So Jam, yes, tell them the premise. How does this game work?
Okay, this game is called Jam You Lying. So essentially, I'm going to read y'all some facts, and you all will either say, if you think I am telling the truth, you will say, Jam, that's right. Or if you think I'm lying, you will say, Jam, you lying. So it's either Jam, that's right, or Jam, you lying. So London, Karimus, Michelle, Stacy, Rhonda, Tukwila, Play, Danar, Eddie, and Jolly. You can just say into your device, or you can type either Jam You Lying or Jam That's Right. Oh, and Stacey, you went to Bedtime Stories last night. Yes, the show that we were talking about for the longest time that was happening. I tuned in for a minute or two, and then I went out to dinner by myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
but yeah,
Stacey, I'm glad it was fun.
Did you have a good time? You had a good time? All right. Wow. So this one is based on Iron Man and Iron Man 2. So we have watched both Iron Man and Iron Man 2 in the last 2 weeks. And this is the quiz about that. So if you think I am telling the truth, you'll say, Jam, that's right. If you think I'm lying, you'll say, Jam, you lying. So our first one is Tony's full name is Anthony Edward Stark.
Oh, God. I'm going to be terrible at this. I'm going to be so bad at this.
Anthony Edward Stark. Do you think that's Jam? That's right. Jam, you lying.
Okay. All right. Get on numbers. I'm really going to need your help here. Please, please help me. The fact that Anthony Edwards is Goose in Top Gun makes me think that it's not Anthony. But I genuinely need your help. Okay, so Stacey says that's right. Let's go with, all right. And get on uppers. Do anybody else want to chime in on this? Is Iron Man's actual name Anthony Edwards Stark?
I just want to say, Renee, you were such a good sport because we put you through this every week. We put you through the ringer, and you always feel like, oh, God. All right, get on uppers. I'm going to need your help.
All right, okay. We're going to need some help.
I need a prayer.
I need Jesus take the wheel.
Sweating. She's scratching her head.
Oh, God.
Itchy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Stacey says that's right, but luckily I got Stacey on my side, so let's go with, yes, that's right. His name is Anthony Edward Stark, though I think it's not. Continue.
Okay, well, listen to Stacey because it's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I love it. What does Anthony Edwards think about that? Was he named after Iron Man?
Maybe.
I'll do some follow up. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Am I lying or telling the truth? Tony went to Stanford. To Stanford.
Yeah. No, wait. Or did he go to MIT? No, he went to Stanford. He did go to MIT. He went to Stanford. Yes, he went to Stanford. What do we think? Get on uppers. I think it's either MIT or Stanford.
Renee, I will say you have definitely said the right answer. So you're on the right spot.
Then I think he went to MIT. And so Jam You lying. Also, would you do 2 Jam You rights? Jam, that's a fact in a row.
Renee, so great. Renee, question for you. When you were taking tests in school, if you didn't know there were, would you track like how many A, B's, or C's there were? Like, okay, would there be 3 C's in a row? Okay, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? Yeah, I am. I have taken many a test in my life, including a test that concluded that I am not good at standardized tests.
And here we
I,
are. We give you
my
nothing but
intelligence is
standardized
tested
tests
in
all
a
the time.
different way.
Yes.
So
Fancy.
Jam, Stacy says Jam, that's a fact. So let's go with Stacy. Jam, that's a fact. He went to Stanford.
Maybe was that with the last one? Nope, Jam you lying. He went to MIT. He went to MIT.
Okay.
He did. Yeah.
Great.
Okay, the name of the missile Tony demonstrates in Afghanistan is called the Jericho. The name of the missile Tony demonstrates in Afghanistan is called the Jericho. You didn't know we'd get so specific, did you?
No, but I like it. I appreciate it. Yeah. What do we think? Get on uppers. Is it called the Jericho? But I remember seeing the Star Industries on the thing, but I don't remember what that actual missile was called. Maybe, yeah. Well, and because the last one was a lie. Let's go with Jam. That's right. Jam, that's a fact. It's called the Jericho.
Don't worry, we'll get you on this rhythm. It's Jam You Lion. It was called the Juggernaut. It was called the Juggernaut.
Okay.
Very
That's a good
specific.
name.
You'll remember that forever. Okay, next one. The name of the terrorist group that injures and captures Tony is called the Three Rings. The name of the terrorist group that injures and captures Tony in Iron Man 1 is called the Three Rings.
Let's see. Is that right? Get on numbers. Do we think? Sure. Jam. That's a fact.
It's actually, I'm highlighting this one because it's going to be important later. There it is. Yeah. Stacy said Jam You Lion. So did Renee, because Renee went with what Stacy said. So both of you are right. Teamwork effort. Get on up. We're taking the right answer. It's Jam You Lion. It's the 10 rings. And the 10 rings is so 10. Cute and important. 10 rings, they're integral to the MCU. Okay. They're actually, there's a character named the Mandarin who, not a great name, but he, in the 70s, they wrote this character. He runs this organization, often antagonist to Tony Stark, Iron Man. Yeah. And if you remember, there will be a movie coming out later in the MCU, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings. So that's why I highlighted it there.
All right, that's good to highlight it now. Thank you for highlighting such a thing. Okay.
Do you remember Obadiah Stane? Do you remember Obadiah Stane? He was in Iron Man 1. Obadiah Stane is Tony's uncle. Obadiah Stane is Tony's uncle.
Yes, Jeff Bridges.
Good old Jeff Bridges.
Uncle.
That was his role.
Gosh, I guess I didn't know. I knew that he was the mean guy. I didn't know what their relation was. I didn't think they were related. I just thought he was a jerk who had a different agenda.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong about that.
No, maybe we don't second guess ourselves.
Let's see. Okay. Okay, Stacey says Jammy Lion. So Renee also says Jammy Lion.
There it is. Renee, you were right completely. It was his father's business partner. But Obadiah Stane, Renee, you were right. He does become this not great person, and he becomes the villain known as Tyrant. He's in that iron suit, and his villainous name is Tyrant.
Good. I feel like that might come into play down the road. I'll remember. Tyrant, 10 rings. Got it. Okay. That fight was amazing. That fight at the end is fantastic.
You loved that fight. I love that fight.
I like Iron Man.
Would you say it's one of your favorite fight sequences so far in the MCU?
I mean, that's hard to be confused. The one where they messed up his house was pretty good in Iron Man 2.
Oh, that was a good one too. Yeah. They messed up his house.
I love
Who's gonna clean this up?
It's what you wonder. It is what you wonder the whole time. Okay. All right. Ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
say ask a question? No, you didn't answer.
Yeah, I said he becomes the villain Iron Tyrant. He becomes the villain Iron Tyrant. Obadiah Stane.
Oh, that is the question. Is that his name?
Yeah, is that his name? Does he become the villain? Is that his villain's name? Obadiah Stane becomes the villain Iron Tyrant. Is that the name? He does have a name, but is it Iron Tyrant?
Yeah. I don't think so, because then that's 2 irons. That's weird. And now I've made fun of maybe a real name. Stacey, what do you think? Hello again on Uppers. We are playing a game, true or false, but we call it Jamuline, wherein we are getting facts around Iron Man and Iron Man 2 and figuring out, is that right or is that wrong? If it's right, you say jam, that's a fact. If it's wrong, you say Jamuline. Right now we're trying to figure out if Jeff Bridges' robot is named Iron Tyrant. And I say jam, you lion. I don't think that was his name, but I can't remember what his name was.
You are correct. He is Ironmonger instead. He's known as the Ironmonger. Okay. In Iron Man 2, Tony is riding a bike when he first meets Natalie Rushman, who we later know as Natasha Romanoff. So when Tony first meets Natalie Rushman, aka Natasha Romanoff, aka the Black Widow, he's riding a bike. I
feel like they met at that big show. I don't remember a bike. But also, as we know, I'm on my way to VR. What do we think? Get on Uppers. Did they meet while he was riding a bike? Let's go with Jammy Lion, just because I don't remember the scene.
Perfect, because it doesn't exist. He was boxing. He was boxing.
Great.
Okay, this film is actually not Black Widow's first Marvel movie appearance. This was actually Black Widow's. This was not Iron Man 2 is not Black Widow's first Marvel appearance.
I don't think I've seen her before now. So is not Jammy Lion. I don't remember.
You're right, Renee. You've not seen her before.
These are great. This is very good. This is helpful. Yeah.
This is so great because it's also like kind of panicking Renee's like, how good is her memory? Usually we do Jammy Lion, it's just like, oh, remember Saved by the Bell.
It's just fun.
Now you're
to be fair, like I'm completely surrendered to it. I was just like, well, if it's happening, it's happening. There's nothing I can do about it. Jammy Lion. Stacey agrees.
All right. Lion. Okay. How about this one? We're going to test what you've known so far. Timeline order. This is both Agent Coulson and Nick Fury's third appearance. Timeline order. This is both Agent Coulson and Nick Fury's third appearance.
In Iron Man 2?
So so by the time we get to Iron Man 2, great follow-up question. So by the time we get to Iron Man 2, we have seen both Agent Coulson and Nick Fury in 3 movies so far.
I think we've seen Agent Coulson, but I don't think we've seen Nick Fury in anything before Iron Man. So Jammy Lion.
Okay, let's check. Let's work our way backwards. So we saw both Nick Fury and Samuel Jackson were in Iron Man 2.
Okay.
Agent Coulson was in Iron Man. Samuel Jackson appears at the end credit sequence of Iron Man. And then they both were also in Captain Marvel.
Captain America. So, that's right. Okay. Yes. Gotcha. I conflated. I thought that for some reason I thought we were talking about Iron Man. Iron Man was in one of them. I don't know what I thought Iron Man was.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. No worries.
Gotcha.
No worries.
Okay.
All
Look
good.
At them. 3 Marvel movies.
How
nice
only on the
is that mailbox
one.
for them? That residual mailbox is hearty.
It's good.
Very, very hearty.
Good. Okay. Tony's father's name is Howard Stark. Tony's dad's name is Howard Stark.
Sure. It's Stark something. Get on Uppers. Do you know what his first name is? We know it's Stark something. Yeah, Howard. Why not? Jam, that's a fact.
That is right. We have done it. That is right. In Iron Man 2, remember Tony's heart's not doing too well. In Iron Man 2, he drinks a green kale smoothie for his heart to keep him alive. That's what he's drinking. That's what it's called. He's like, oh, I better drink my green kale smoothie. It doesn't taste good.
Was it called something else? You definitely drank a smoothie, but I don't think that's what's on the table. How do we feel? Get on Uppers. Is that a fact? Is that a lie? Jam. That's a lie. It was called something else.
Great. Yeah, you did it. That was right. He was drinking chlorophyll. He was drinking
Oh, cute.
chlorophyll.
That's fun. Okay.
Woof. That is a lot. Okay, maybe one or two more.
Okay.
Ivan Vanko's supervillain name is Electro Whips. Ivan Vanko is the villain in Iron
Right.
Man 2.
Right.
And his supervillain name from the comics is Electro Whips. That's his name. Good old Electro Whips.
Yeah, gosh, I'm really not remembering any of the yes. Was that its name? Yeah. I don't know. Jam, that's a lie. It was called something else.
Yeah. It is called something like Whiplash. That's his
Electro
name.
Whips is kind of cool though. I like that one.
They had to play Gnarls Barkley's because he does the whips like on like certain, like it's almost very musical in the way that he does it when he's at the Grand Prix. Mickey Rourke had such difficulty nailing that they had to put music on in the background. I think it was Gnarls Barkley's I Think I'm Crazy to get him to hit it on the right beats.
I feel like we'd all need that. Music would help. I feel like it would be helpful for all of us to figure out what those beats
are. Absolutely. Last one. Tony gives Pepper Potts the position of CEO of Stark Industries. Tony gives Pepper Potts the position. Right. Yes, that is true.
Jam,
that's right. Well, since you whizzed through that one, your real last one, we can say right here on this photo, Sarah. Tony has a prototype of Captain America's shield. Tony has a prototype of Captain America's shield.
Go ahead. Real quick, we're going to take a quick break for that. We'd like to go to camp. Go to camp. Come on. I'm so sorry, Jeremy. Thank you.
People to hear the rest of the quiz. Oh, there's our little tugboat.
Okay, go, Doug. Hold on, I'm going to help real quick.
Okay. All right. Well, what do we think, Get On Uppers? Tony has a prototype of Captain America's shield. Do we think he does? What do we think? Do we remember? Would they have teased a Captain America shield so early? Because actually, this Captain America has not come out yet. But would Tony have a prototype of Captain America's shield? What do we think?
We'd absolutely seen a shield before. I'm gonna go with Jam. That's a fact, but I bet there's details around that are wrong that make it a lie.
No, it is right. And in fact, Sarah actually showed the picture of it with Agent Coulson holding it up earlier, and I was like, the answer is being shown right here.
Luckily, Tugboat was going to camp, and I didn't see. But yes, we've seen that shield before.
Yes. Yep. That was Tony has it. And people were like, oh my gosh, it's Captain America. And mind you, although we've timeline order, Captain America has already happened, but in Marvel release order, there was no Captain America even on the docket. So people were losing their mind because like, oh my God, it's Cap Shield. How does he have it? Why? But his dad helped make the shield, so that makes sense.
There we go. Makes perfect
Howard
sense.
Stark. Well, there it is. Your Iron Man 2 Jam Young Lion. We did it. It happened. We did okay. We made it out. We made it through unscathed.
We learned a lot. And that's all you can ask for. I love it. Jam, we are nearly at the end. We're going to have to race through these Forget About It Fridays so that we can get these sweet sweeties on over to the next show.
All right. Well, y'all, it's the end of the week. What are you going to forget about and leave behind for Friday? What are you going to leave behind and forget? Leave it in the week. What are you not taking with you? It's not serving you. No more, no mas. What is it? How about for you, Renee? Want to kick us off?
Yeah, gosh, what do I need to think about this before. I guess severity of a situation. And that I let myself like give in to like everybody's stress real quick. Like part of me was just like, it's not the big deal. It doesn't matter. But then I definitely had to like push lions back into their den in a way that I maintained the persona of like, it's not that big a deal. We're fine. We're going to be okay. But inside I was like, ah! So I would love to believe that it's going to be okay, not just act like it. So I'm going to forget about the internal this week.
How
about you? What
I
are you
like
gonna
that.
forget about?
Well, Stacy's got to forget about the shot she got in her hip, which, okay,
That's
go ahead. I'm sorry that
fair.
hurt you.
More than fair. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Gosh, I think I'm going to leave behind my envy that I was feeling for people who are out there doing it up. My time will come. I'm already doing it, as my therapist. My therapist said to me, he was like, "It's hard to." He's like, he doesn't understand. He's like, "How do you think that you've not made it?" He's like, "You've
Yeah.
got 2 shows. You've interviewed like Marvel people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand this." And so I think I want to leave behind comparing myself to other people. That's what I'll land on. Leave behind comparing myself to other people, because I got to run my race, and my race is actually pretty great and pretty nice. And if spending so much time comparing myself to other people and what they're doing, I'm gonna miss what I've got going on and what I'm experiencing. So I'm gonna
I
leave
love that.
that
Yes,
behind.
and you have made it, and you are a star, and yes, yes to all of that. All of that. I love it. I love it very, very much.
Shimmy, because it's Friday. Shimmy into Saturday.
It's so true. It's so true. And Jam, I gotta tell you that this is not where the back channel bus stops. There's plenty of programming after this. So much. If you would like to watch more, up next is Anthony Davis. Then we have your pal Hal, followed by that is Mario Smith, and we will be back on Monday. Do you want to let those sweet Get-On-Uppers know what they might be getting themselves into on Monday? Maybe a little.
Sure. Well, it's Monday, so we're going to kick it off with Marvel Movie Mondays, which has been a huge hit. Everyone is loving it. Sure, it's mainly just me and Renee being like, "Oh, let's talk about this movie," but we're committed. We're doing it. Good. It's happening. We're going to Incredible Hulk, so make sure to check out the Incredible Hulk this weekend, so you'll be able to join in on the conversation about the Incredible Hulk. We will be doing more women's history moments. We'll be taking a look at some of the breaking news, or we're taking a monocle look at the news, a closer look at the news there on Monday. I wonder if this will be. This was the thumbnail. Not too like when we did this the first time, so could be. They're like, wow, they sure do that a lot. They sure do that a lot. So yeah, we'll be back here just to help. Most importantly, we're going to be back here, catch up on the weekend, and help you all get on up to kick off your week. So we'll be back here next Monday. Y'all have a fabulous weekend, and please remember to head on over to www.backchannel.tv, tap that leave a review button, and tell them how much you love Marvel Movie Mondays, and when me and Renee wear matching outfits. Yeah. Well, I'm James Arthur M.
And I'm Renee Colbert, and you just
got on. Pow!
Have a great weekend, guys.
Pow!
That was pretty good.